Baby birds, baby birds, baby birds. Welcome back to the nest for another edition of a sneak peek edition of Words of Wisdom. You can hit us up in the Twitterverse at Words from Wisdom. That's at Words from Wisdoms. Come at me. Stay in my mentions. Stay in my DMs. We want it. We can handle it. Bring it all the time. Like I said before, this isn't just my show. This is our show. We're going to have discussions, debates. We're going to have segments counted on by our audience. We're going to see if you like, what you dislike. We're going to cater the show towards around input, action, and desire. But we have a very special guest this afternoon, this evening, going in a phone call with my NFL analyst, Words of Wisdom's NFL analyst, Brahn the Raid King, will be joining us in just a quick minute via the TBA phone line system. And it's going to be good stuff. It's going to be wild. There are going to be phone calls going off in the background. We're going to have all sorts of stuff rolling. Yo, Zane, what did I tell you about the phone calls? You need to put that on vibrate. Put it on vibrate. This is ridiculous. This is Mickey Mouse, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to personally apologize to everyone. It's just out of control. And apparently I'm being told that was my phone that was doing that sound. Well, maybe next time you should bring the phone in to me so I can make sure that it's on vibrate so we don't have these issues. We have it on these things. I suppose vibrate wouldn't work either because it'd just be jazzing on the counter. I have to put it on silent. That's what we do in the radio world, Zane. We put our phones on silent. So I'm going to blame the producer that it is her job to make sure these are going. And you know what? I need my lemon tea. Yeah, where's my lemon tea? I was promised lemon tea. I can't do this without my lemon tea. My throat gets sore and scratchy, and I'm going to need some lemon tea. I guess I have to just be like everyone else out here and not have my lemon tea and go without. Thank you, Mariah. Mariah Carey, ladies and gentlemen. The diva, the original diva. Fantastic. Thank you so much. I mean, I can definitely see why my man Nick Cannon went ahead and ended up divorcing the beautiful, luscious Mariah Carey. I can appreciate that. I mean, at a young age, I'm sure she was extremely alluring, and she's still gorgeous and beautiful. But that type of attitude, that diva sense, oh my goodness, dog, it's tough to deal with. I date girls like that, and it's rough. It's rough. It's rough. And it goes both ways. This isn't just the females like that. I got plenty of dude friends that are basically the diva version of Mariah Carey. And it's very interesting to watch how they operate, right? And how their significant others operate along with them. Yeah. But yeah, I digress. Got off on a little tangent there. Got a little misplaced. Now we're going to get ourselves straight back right in the direction. Because in less than 30 seconds, we're going to be welcoming in our very own, one of our NFL analysts, Brahn the Raid King, a.k.a. the Raid King. You're going to love what this cat has to say. He's got great NFL analysts. He's got an amazing tune. And he's got the amazing adventure. It's going to be good stuff. We're going to get here rolling in just a minute. We're going to hit a break real quick, and we're going to come back with my man, the one, the only, the man, the myth, the legend, Brahn, a.k.a. the Raid King, here on Words of Wisdom. Find us at Words from Wisdom in the Twitterverse. Once again, I want to thank you so much for joining us on Words of Wisdom. We have Brahn, aka the Raid King, with us. We're going to dissect and discuss last week's games in the NFL playoffs. We have the Titans versus Patriots, the Steelers versus Jags, Eagles versus Falcons, Vikings versus Saints. And after that, we are going to preview the weekend games coming up here on Sunday. Eagles, Vikings, Pats, Jags. So let's dive right in. Well, speaking of diving right in, and speaking of mowing down the competition, gruff mowing. When the landscape gets rough, that's when you call Gruffed. Gruffed Landscaping. Look them up today. All right, Braun, let's hit up with the Titans and Patriots.
Well, the Titans and Patriots game was a good one until about halftime. The Patriots were up 21-7. At that point, you just knew Tom Brady wasn't going to let go of the game. The Patriots ended up running the ball more yards than the Titans did. While Marcus Mariota looked better than he had the rest of the season, he still struggled to find guys in crucial moments. Young Derrick Henry, he was the leading rusher at running back for the Titans, and he only hit 28 yards. Marcus Mariota had 37 on the ground. But then you look at the utilization of the Patriots' backfield, and there's just no comparison. They had multiple guys rush the ball. They had multiple success with it. And then the star power at wide receiver just took over for the Patriots. While Danny Amendola might not be like a huge name to most people, football fans know that he is just about as money as you can be when you need him. And then you got Rob Gronkowski, who's not only one of the best receiving tight ends, but also one of the best blocking tight ends. And then Tom Brady's just going to spread the ball around. This was basically just a warm-up game for Tom Brady to go to the next round and prepare to go to his 7th AFC championship in a row, which means Tom Brady's probably going to end up in the Super Bowl. And I don't know who's going to stop the Patriots. It definitely wasn't going to be the Titans. They didn't have the defense. The Patriots outplayed them on all levels. And by the third quarter, the game was over. I'm sure the stadium was empty. Or I guess it was in New England, so I guess the stadium was probably full. But the hearts of the Titans fans were empty at the end of this game.
Well, absolutely. The Titans. I thought the Titans had zip to no chance. And after you heard about Marcus Mariota came out at the end after the game and quote unquote what hampered his mobility was that pulled hammy after that first score. Yeah, that's exactly why they gave up 21 unanswered points, because Marcus Mariota was hammy. Whatever, man. Bill Belichick is going to rule Mike Mularkey, and Mike Mularkey is now out of a job. So, fantastic. All right, let's go ahead and hit up the Steelers versus the Jaguars.
This was by far the funnest game of the weekend. Maybe not the most, like, you have the iconic play in the Saints-Vikings game, but this game was so much back and forth. And you saw that Jags defense, all those draft picks, all that defensive coaching going into this game. And while the score, for the most part, was going the Jacksonville Jaguars' way, and the Steelers made the run at the end there, I don't know if there really was any real conversation about whether or not the Jaguars are going to get this done. The defense was too good. Leonard Fournette ran the ball, even getting out of the game for a while, coming back in. 3 touchdowns, 109 yards. Antonio Brown was coming off 2 weeks of not playing. Roethlisberger was just chucking the ball up. He hit 5 touchdowns. The Jaguars, Blake Bortles surprisingly was able to get enough offense to keep the game going, even though the defense for the Jacksonville basically just drove the narrative for the game. Le'Veon Bell, possibly going to get franchised, claiming he's going to retire, had an okay game for Le'Veon Bell. Roethlisberger had a monster game. He wants to keep playing. Antonio Brown looks good. The Steelers were the team I thought was going to challenge the Patriots for a chance to go to the Super Bowl. And right now it's Jacksonville going to go play the Patriots. And it's hard for me to say that the Patriots aren't going to win that game when Jacksonville's defense is so good. But the game and the Jacksonville Jaguars defense just looked too good. Blake Bortles is going to end up possibly being the Trent Dilfer of the new generation. And I don't know what they're really going to do in Pittsburgh. There's a lot of coaching changes going on right now. They're going to have to look at that defense, because there's no way Roethlisberger should throw 5 touchdowns and you should lose the game.
So let me ask you a question on that particular game real quick. Please, with all that is holy in this universe, please don't tell me you're one of those cats that think Blake Bortles actually played well last week. He played okay.
He played okay, but that's all you need when you have a defense that good. Look at the Ravens with Dilfer. Look at the Seahawks with the young Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson could do more with his arm. But sometimes you just need that guy who's not going to turn the ball over. He's just going to be efficiently able to move those chains in those situations when he has to, and hand the ball off to the running back who's going to do a bulk of the work. They're going to rely on the defense via field position to keep the other opposing offense out of the end zone and possibly get a couple of touchdowns, which they are able to do. Like, that's what they're built on. They're built on the same formula that those Ravens were built on. And Blake Bortles could be the new Trent Dilfer. Dilfer wasn't a great quarterback, but he was good enough to win a Super Bowl.
All right. Well, as long as we're on the same page, because there's so many cats out there saying, well, Blake Bortles played so well. He was the MVP of that game. Leonard Fournette was the MVP of that game. That defense was the MVP of that game. Just ridiculous. The dude was, 7 for 14 with 83 yards when they were up 28-7 from a defensive touchdown, Leonard Fournette, and a fumble from Pittsburgh. It's like, come on. All right.
Yeah, The kid's in talk to be rookie of the year.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. He's money. All right, let's hit up. Moving on to the NFC playoffs. We got the Eagles, my personal Philadelphia Eagles, versus the Atlanta Falcons.
To me, this was a game of which quarterback could not suck the most. And in the end, the Philadelphia Eagles came out victorious. I didn't expect the Eagles to win this, to be honest. I thought losing Carson Wentz was going to be the big hit in the playoffs, but the Eagles got that deep down pride, and they just gutted out a win, and that's all you need to do. You just need a chance in the NFL playoffs. You have to have a chance. Now, the Eagles are going to be like three of the other teams that are left in the playoffs. They're going to live and die by their defense and a quarterback who's a game manager. I mean, you didn't really shut down Julio Jones, but the run game, which was the vaulted thing for the Philadelphia Eagles, barely showed up. I was expecting them to have big games running, but they did just enough. Nick Foles did just enough. The defense did great, and that's going to probably end up being the formula that three of these teams are going to have to win by. The Falcons, I think, as coming back from the top of the heap there, gutting their way into a first win and then getting here into the second game, I just don't know if they had enough to do it. That they're missing something, and I think that's been apparent ever since they had that big loss to the Patriots in the Super Bowl when they let them come back. I don't know if there's enough fighting the dog in Atlanta anymore. I don't know if they can get dirty anymore.
Oh, good. I like it. I like that. I would have a few comments to make, but I'm a homer, so I'm not going to go ahead and hop on the Eagles. And you dissected that very, very well, in my personal opinion. So that's good stuff. All right, let's hit up the Vikings and the Saints.
This game, the ending of this game will go down as one of the greatest last plays of any playoff game in NFL history. They wanted a field goal. Everybody watching at home was looking to see if he could make the catch to the field goal. And when that rookie defensive back lowered his head and took out the other guy, allowing him to spring free, we got to see one of those rare moments where the 0.2% chance to win goes in your favor. And Vikings fans, they've been suffering for so long. They got this magic in Case Keenum coming along, third-string quarterback, afterthought in the offseason. It's just getting them there. He's just like Bortles. He's a Trent Dilfer type guy. He's not going to turn the ball over. He's going to be efficient, and he knows that the strength of the team lies in the running backs and the defense. And that defense for Minnesota is amazing. The amount of resources they have put into that defense is showing on the field. And then you have guys like Adam Thielen and Stephon Diggs, these wide receivers who are big play at times and just get it done. The whole team, it's like a real team. The Vikings feel like what you'd expect from like those teams in the movies. It's that full team feel. They got the underdogness to them. They got the nastiness to them. They got all the guys, the non-big name guys coming through for them. I love the Vikings going on from this. And the Saints, they might lose Drew Brees here in the offseason. We all know they won't. They'll restructure that deal. The running back duo looked amazing there. They even got rid of Adrian Peterson. They're just, I think the Saints are. And I'm hoping for their sakes, Drew Brees will take a smaller contract, get himself a few more weapons, and they could be dangerous in the playoffs next year.
Yeah, I really do like how Drew Brees announced, putting all the pressure on the New Orleans Saints, that he would like to get that contract done. He wants to re-sign before he hits free agency, re-sign before all this other stuff. Wants to start the negotiations right now to re-sign, to put the pressure on the city of New Orleans. Because he's the man down in New Orleans. They worship the ground he walks on down there. Ridiculous.
He rescued the city after Katrina.
Yeah, absolutely. Did a lot of stuff with his foundation as well down there, too. That's good. That's real good. That's real good. All right. And don't forget, you can hit Brahn up at Brahn_Raid King. And that's BRAHN_Raid King.
And you can always hit up Words of Wisdom at Words from Wisdom. One word on the Twitterverse.
Moving on. We're moving on to the weekend preview. Now, in this particular segment, we're going to go ahead and hit a little back and forth on this because there might be some disagreements. We're going to do previews of the game, and we're going to go ahead and have our take on the game and pick the winners. All right. Eagles versus Vikings, NFC Championship game.
you got two franchises just begging to go. These are probably out of the four teams. This game has probably got the most thirsty players and the most thirsty fans of any matchup I've seen in a long time. One of these teams will be crushed for another decade. One of these teams will be moving on. I just unfortunately Carson Wentz even being there for the Eagles. How well the Vikings have been playing on defense. It being in Minnesota, I know Wentz probably would have allowed the Eagles to get the higher seed there, but wait, that was in Philadelphia. I apologize.
We are at the link, baby. We are at the link.
Yeah, it's at the link. I mean, you get the home field advantage at 3 points, but the Vikings team is just so mean. They're just so good. The only way the Eagles are going to be able to win this is they're going to have to force turnovers near the opponent's side of the field and hope for either a field goal fest. Because Nick Foles cannot throw it deep. They lack the weapons to really take advantage of any of the Vikings' weaknesses. The Eagles are going to have to live and die on their defense. If the defense shows up and can outplay the Eagles' defense can show up and outplay the Vikings, they have a chance. But I don't know. I think this is the magical year for Case Keenum. It's going to give the Vikings so many problems with what they're going to decide to do with quarterback in the offseason, with Bradford, Bridgewater, and Keenum all being free agents. Keenum's making himself a ton of money no matter what he does, and I think the Eagles are going to have to wait till next year to get back in the NFC Championship game.
Oh, well, allow me to retort.
Well, my friend, I do agree with most of what you're saying. Obviously, I'm an Eagles homer, so I'm going to try to keep this little on the deal. But as some of the listeners do know, I do live in Minneapolis, St. Paul, which is the Twin Cities, which is Minnesota, which is the home of this year's 2018 Super Bowl. The Vikings' home city. All right. So the big thing about the Eagles are, I agree with what you're saying. We're missing the MVP, right? Let's be honest. Carson Wentz was going to win the MVP. He was going to break Kurt Warner's record of the most touchdown passes by a second-year player. It was going to happen. Nothing was going to stop him. He's at, 34, and he had 3 games left? He would have hit it. He needed 36. No doubt about it. Don't forget, we are also missing arguably the best left tackle in football. I'll go second best just so the people don't hit me with the homer tag, because my boy Jason Peters, 33 years old, like 9 Pro Bowls, just amazing player. And then you got Joe Thomas, which I'll go with the number 1 over there in Cleveland. But Peters has been out since week 4, week 5, so this is a big deal. These guys are missing, I'm not going to even say the word arguably, they're missing their 2 best offensive players. But I'm going to go with the weapons. That's why I'm going to disagree with you, my man, with the weapons. All right, so Nick Foles, yes, he's a backup quarterback. Yes, did he have a little bit of success in the Chip Kelly offense when he went 27 touchdowns, 2 picks. I'll be the first to admit that was some flukiness. He had the highest drop percentage by defensive backs in the history of the NFL. So it's fluky, that bit right there. But we have weapons, baby. We got Zach Ertz, the man, the myth, the legend, dude, the great white hope at tight end. He's amazing, man. Amazing. We got Alshon Jeffries, who from Chicago days, yes, he's had injury concerns, but he is a top flight, legit number 1 wide receiver in the NFL. And he stayed healthy for the first time in 4 years. All games. Fantastic. Torrey Smith, a burner. He was pretty good, a little fast. He's kind of like a poor man's Ted Ginn Jr. at this stage in his career. But my second-year man, Nelson Aguilar, first-round pick that everyone thought was a bust. That cat is money. He runs the jet sweeps. He runs all these different plays. He's a huge thing. He's actually one of the reasons we beat the Falcons, because he ran those special plays on 3rd down and got first downs, right? So we got some big things from that. But I'll give the Vikings credit. Case Keenum's fantastic. I'm a huge Case Keenum fan. Now check this out, Brahn. I'm sure you realize this. Case Keenum, Nick Foles, Jared Goff, right? We're all Jeff Fisher's quarterbacks. And they all were supposed to suck. And we're all in the playoffs this year. Good stuff. I dig it. All right, let's move on to the Pats and Jags.
If there's one team that's going to be able to beat the Patriots right now, it's the Jaguars. They're going to do it from defense. They're going to do it by running the ball. But at the end of the day, they're just going to help Tom Brady get to the next Super Bowl, where Tom Brady's going to probably win it and end up with 6 rings more than any other NFL franchise total. Jaguars look great. They look great, so great that you can't believe in them anymore because the magic will eventually die. Belichick knows how to take away your strength. He's going to take away Leonard Fournette the best he can. He's going to take away any of the outlets that Blake Bortles is going to drop off to, so he's going to have to be forced to go deep. That's going to play into the Patriots' hands. They're going to get more turnovers than the Jaguars will be able to get off of Tom Brady. And the Patriots are going to play a game of control the clock near the end. They know the Jaguars have the ability to pop off at any time with that defense, and the Patriots are just going to win the game. It's going to be a good challenge for Tom Brady because no matter what happens the following week or after 2 weeks in the Super Bowl, he's going to be facing another great defense. And if we know anything, Tom Brady loses to great defenses. Look at the Giants 2 times. So if the Jaguars can get that pass rush and get in Tom Brady's face, they have the chance to win the game. The only thing that they don't have, the Jaguars, is the ability to get downfield, even like Eli Manning could. Blake Bortles is no Eli Manning, and I just don't see the Jaguars beating the Patriots.
Oh, well, allow me to retort.
Now, I'm going to agree with a lot of the points that you have made here. And I'm also going to bring this up as well. You know, the Jaguars, well, let's start here. The Patriots, right? I hate the Patriots. I can't stand the Patriots. And I know a lot of people outside of Boston that just loathe the Patriots. Do we respect the Patriots? Absolutely. But why do we hate the Patriots so much? Why do we hate greatness? Greatness. I think it's jealousy, man. Like a little bit, right? Like what holds us back as individuals, even in our own little lives, man, is, we get in our own way. The Patriots don't get in their own way. They have a system that Belichick, 18 years, I think it's been? Yeah, 18 years. He's been there for 18 years. Tom Brady's been there the whole time. And they have just built this culture. Do it the Belichick way or get in the Patriot way that turned into the Patriot way, and then it's or the highway. Getting all these problem players, such as like Randy Moss and Albert Hainsworth, all this kind of jazz coming in there, right? Randy Moss played amazing, right? Albert Hainsworth's flamed out, and they got rid of him. But they aren't afraid to try because they have that culture right there. It's like these dudes are, if you're listening like ESPN here and like Teddy Bruschi talk, Dan Levitar calls him Baghdad Brewster because he just only spews positivity about the Patriots. You could say Bill Belichick shot like 6 kids or something like that. That is a horrible analogy. I would like to retract that last analogy right there. We're going to go ahead and put the Wayback Time Machine in there and just pull that one back, especially this time of day. And Bill Belichick went through the grocery store and just started knocking over old ladies' carts. Just running through the lines, just pushing everything over, right? Teddy Bruschi would say the most positive things about it and flip it around saying it's great. That's because that's the culture that he's cultivated. All these players say this stuff about Bill. And that's amazing. And that's why I hate the Patriots. And that's why we just hate greatness by itself, right? We just don't like it.
Well, on top of that, the part about Belichick is he's also the GM of the Patriots. So not only do you have to hate the coach, but you hate him because he builds all that. He is the groundwork of the foundation of the Patriots at this time. He brings in all the players, so of course they're going to speak highly for him because he's the one signing the paychecks also.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And let me talk about this too, the Jags real quick. So I really do believe in the Jacksonville Jaguars because they are all worldly defense. This defense is unbelievably good. They may have the best cornerback in Jalen Ramsey. And then let me try to pronounce this cat's name, Bouye. On the other side is probably a top 10 quarterback. So they have the number 1 cornerback in the NFL. Don't get me confused. It's quarterback definitely. They do not have the number 1 quarterback. No, they do not. But that defensive secondary, all 3 levels. And the reason why I personally think the Jaguars, you can take it down right now. This is a hot take. The Jaguars will defeat the New England Patriots in Super Bowl this year in Minnesota because of their linebacking core. Their linebackers are so fast and so big that what is the biggest mismatch the Patriots have on offense? Brahn, tell me what the biggest mismatch they have on offense is.
Well, you got Gronkowski.
There it is, Gronkowski. And guess what? Who is the only team in the league that has skilled linebackers that are fast enough, big enough, strong enough to cover him one-on-one?
Seattle Seahawks.
4 years ago, baby.
Bobby Wagner, KJ Wright, they can cover the best.
Yeah, 4 years ago, baby. I'll give you
But
that.
no, I
4
get
years
what you're
ago.
saying. You're saying, I mean, the Jaguars, that linebacking core is finally coming to age. They gambled on guys who are hurt. Premier guys coming out of college, and it's paying off. You're seeing what risk and reward plus good drafting at key positions does for your defense.
Absolutely, and it's just amazing. And let's talk about the offense for just a quick minute. The Jags offense, yeah, everyone knows what they're going to do. They're going to line up and just try to ram the ball down your throat. Now, Bill Belichick always takes away the most powerful attack that you got. So I'm thinking that Tom Coughlin and Doug Marrone got to have something special lined up. Blake Bortles can make NFL throws. If he is going to be with 8 men in the box trying to stop the battering ram or Leonard Fournette, TJ Yeldon, and if they activate Chris Ivory, they were so impressed with TJ and, Leonard Fournette. They didn't even activate him last week. He was a healthy scratch, which is crazy. But they just run the ball down your throat. They're going to be able to do a lot of play action. They'll be able to do some gadget plays. But let's not forget, they're also missing their number one offensive player other than Leonard Fournette. They're missing Allen Robinson. He's still out. I think he's out for the season, if I remember correctly. So the Allen brothers aren't all there, right? They can still throw the rock. They have good Marquise Lee. And they got that guy came out of nowhere, D.D. Westbrook. They got a good wide receiver core. Tight ends get fluky every once in a while. And if Blake Bortles can please just relax, if he just Bortles his way to fantasy relevance and to Super Bowl prowess, just be okay like he was against the Steelers, I think the Jaguars got a huge chance. Because if you get pressure on Tom Brady, sorry, baby, didn't mean to interrupt you, but if you get pressure on Tom Brady, that's how you beat Brady. Just like you said, the Giants. That's how they beat him.
All right, well, how did the Jaguars win when they're down by 2 touchdowns? The Jaguars get down by 2 touchdowns. How did the Jaguars win that game?
Oh, well, allow me to retort.
I'm glad you asked that. Because, for one thing, I don't believe they're going to get down for 2 touchdowns because of the style of play that's going to go on. If anything, you're going to see some turnovers from Brady. You're going to see him get hit. We're going to see how well that 40-year-old body, that TB12 diet, is going to do it for him. See, TB12, only eating salmon and avocado. Sorry, I mispronounced that word. I apologize. Avocado. And by the way, have you had avocado ice cream, Brahn?
No, I've not.
I would highly recommend that you do not. It is the most disgusting thing that you will ever taste. What you should do next time that little one comes running up to you with a boo-boo and wants some ice cream, make it better, give him a scoop of avocado ice cream and see what he likes. See if he stops eating ice cream altogether.
Try to classical condition them by giving them something they're not going to like. It's diabolical.
Now I forgot what I was talking about. But the Patriots and Jags, absolutely. Getting down, but if let's say they do get down by 14, it's going to be tough for them because I think they have to stick to their game plan. They got to stick with high intensity pressure on Tom Brady, which I think they can get with just their rush in their front four because their defensive line is much more athletic and much more skilled than the Patriots' offensive line. And they have to just keep on running Leonard Fournette. They got to keep his ankle in a force field the entire week, whatever they got to do, and just make sure nothing happens to that cat because he is going to be money. And Blake's got to make timely throws. He just can't bortle his way into, turnovers. You know what I'm saying? He's got to make it happen. Use his legs. RPOs. RPOs have to be used. Blake is much more athletic than most people think. The dude ran for 88 rushing yards and 87 passing yards the week before. But
right.
yeah, he can move around a little bit. By no means am I a Blake Bortles fan, but like you said, Trent Dilfer won a Super Bowl with the defense. I ain't saying the Jags are the Ravens of 2000, but they're pretty damn close.
There's one team defensively that's going to be able to beat them. It's probably going to be the Jaguars. If Tom Brady handles the Jaguars, he's probably going to be more than able to handle the Eagles or the Vikings. I just don't see the passing attack. I see the passing attack for Jacksonville. I just don't see it. The Patriots cornerbacks aren't that bad themselves. Their backfield's pretty solid. And I just don't see how the Jacksonville wide receivers are going to do enough. Gronkowski, Amendola, those guys will be able to get separation. Those are all top-tier players. Even against top-tier cornerbacks, they're still going to make plays, and top-tier linebackers. It's just going to come down to, can Bortles make that 3rd and 7? Can Bortles make that 3rd and 8? because the Patriots are going to stack the box against Fournette, and they're going to have to face these 3 and longs multiple times during the game. They're not going to let Fournette have his way with it. They would much rather let Blake Bortles run, if that's what he chooses to do. I just don't see the weapons Jacksonville has if they fall behind. If they're in the lead, you have to like Jacksonville's chances of pressuring the defense and just running Fournette to victory.
You know, speaking of that, what I really think is going to happen is those cornerbacks are going to be mowing down those Patriots wide receivers. And speaking of mowing down the competition, gruff mowing. When the landscape gets rough, that's when you call Gruff. Gruff Landscaping. Look them up today. No, but I agree with you, Brahn. So let's hit this up a little bit real quick, and we're going to make our picks. I think most listeners can feel which way we're leaning on both of these games, but I'm going to have you go first on the Eagles-Vikings. Who you got?
I'm going to go Vikings over the Eagles, and it's going to be a close game. I'm going to say 24-21. The Vikings get that game-winning field goal that they missed out when Blair Walsh shanked it left. They get that redemption field goal, and Vikings fans everywhere get to go to the Super Bowl excited before they realize they're playing the Patriots.
Well, I agree with you about the score. That's pretty close. But I'm going to go a little bit lower score. I'm going to go...
Go. I'll be right there. Go.
I'm going to go 21-18. 21-18, and I'm going with my Philadelphia Eagles. I think that defense is going to have what it takes. I know the Vikings got a real good defense out there, too. And I think Nick Foles is going to be able to do just enough. And I believe the Eagles' running game, with that 3-headed, 4-headed monster that they got back there, they can really wear out that defense. Hopefully. That defense is rough, and they're tough. But I'm going to go with the Eagles. All right, let's hit up the Pates and Jags.
Well, I'm already predicting the Patriots to be going to the Super Bowl, so I guess that pretty much solidifies who I think will win this game. This game is either going to be the shootout or the low-scoring game of the week or just the blowout. And I'm going to go on the limb. I'm going to go on the limb and say this is the blowout-type game. If I had to pick one of the 2 games for this weekend to be a blowout, it's going to be the Patriots over the Jaguars. I wouldn't be surprised to see anything short of 35 to... the Patriots are going to cover their line. I think the Patriots are going to put up the numbers, and everybody's going to be prepared for the Vikings-Patriots Super Bowl.
So when you say blowout, so are you calling a blowout? You're saying the Patriots are going to blow out?
I'm calling a blowout in this game. I'm gonna put it out there. I love the way the Jacksonville Jaguars can play on defense and run the game, but the Patriots are going to get that hot start the Patriots always get, where they have 21 points by halftime, and the Jaguars might only have that 7. And once they fall behind, it's going to be really hard for them to pull up into the lead. I think that they might get a defensive touchdown to go with one offensive touchdown and a field goal in there. And I think the Patriots end up getting multiple points on the board. Like I said, I think it ends up being somewhere 28-35 for the Patriots, with Jaguars coming around 17. So I'll go 35-17 Patriots.
Oh, well, allow me to retort.
I don't know what you're smoking, but there is no way TB12 and avocado juice is going to go ahead and put up 35 points on the Jacksonville Jaguars. It's not going to happen, my man. It's not. You can write it down today. You can call it the hot take of the century. Whatever, dog. There is no way Jacksonville's defense is going to do that. It's just not going to happen. Yeah, I know they gave up some points to the Steelers last week and all that kind of jazz, but let's not forget, they scored 2 touchdowns on 4th and 10s, 40 yards and 36 yards. That was extremely difficult catches those players both made. That's not going to happen. Otherwise, the Steelers wouldn't have even been close to in that game. They were allowed to crawl back in on their hands and knees, on blood, cut knees and elbows, going through the barbed wire. No. That's not going to happen over here. I'm going with 24. I'm giving your score from the Viking game. 24-17. I'm going the Jags. 24. No, let's amend that. I think the Patriots are going to score a little more than that. Let's go 27-24 Jags. 27-24 Jags. Absolutely.
Let me just point out that's Jaguar defense gave up 44 to the Niners in a loss, gave up 37 to the Titans in a loss, 27 to the Rams in a loss, and 27 to the Cardinals in a loss. And neither of those teams have Tom Brady at quarterback.
Well, look who's doing research. Woohoo! Look at that. We're just going to agree to disagree on this one, baby. I just don't feel the Pats are going to get it done this time around. They got turmoil in their locker room. They got turmoil in the clubhouse. They got turmoil. They have the Seth Wickham story that came out about all that shiznit about Tom Brady refusing to let Jimmy G into the TB12 center. So you can just imagine Tom Brady and what's his name, Eddie Guerrero or whatever his name is, hiding behind the counter when Jimmy G goes over to knock on that window because he got the bum shoulder right now. It's like, Tom, I want to get some treatment. And Tom and him are just hiding behind the counter and saying, don't let him in. If you don't say nothing, he won't hear us. He won't know we're here. Shut the lights off. Stuff like that, man. It's just hearing that little stuff is pretty ridiculous.
What fixes all controversy?
Winning does fix all controversy.
And what do the Patriots do?
They tend to win, but I hate them.
And
I hate their greatness along with half the rest of the country. All right, that is all the time we have today. I want to thank my man, Brahn the Raid King. You can hit him up at Brahn_the Raid King. I'm sorry, that is at Brahn_Raid King. That's BRAHN_Raid King on the Twitterverse. And as always, you can hit me, the show, up Words of Wisdom at Words from Wisdom in the Twitterverse. Thank you so much, Brahn. We'll have to have you back and see if you're any good at your damn predictions.
Thank you. Always a pleasure, my friend.
And we will leave you with this, baby birds out there, to all y'all. We're going to leave you with one word from wisdom. And that words are going to be, I was once told by a wise man that life is a lot like, no, not like a box of chocolates, Mr. Forrest Gump. Life is a lot like a river winding through the mountains. The river turning, carousing, goes through smoothness where you can be on the side of the bank and see the reflection of yourself just pointing right back up at you. But then it goes through some twists and some turns, maybe even a little waterfall, and it goes to the rapids, which are going to be rough, which you're going to have to avoid the stones popping up, the white caps. You're going to have to avoid some things, and you got to stay vigilant if you want to stay upright, if you want to make it through the pain and the heartache and the suffering that your muscles and your body is going to go through, keeping that boat straight and true. Then you might even run to something that is, you hear rumbling ahead. You hear rumbling, and you wonder what that could be. It's louder and louder and louder and louder. And it's a giant waterfall, and you're about to go over. Are you going to panic? Are you going to stay true to yourself and your beliefs and what gets you from point A to point Z? What are you going to do? Are you going to go over there and pray to whatever you believe in that it's going to save you? Or are you going to do yourself a favor and save yourself going over that waterfall, going over that ledge? Because what normally happens at the bottom of a waterfall, baby birds, stillness. You get out from underneath the waterfall, and there's the most beautiful thing you've ever seen. You see lush plant life. You see amazing water that's clear and full of life, beauty. But you just had to endure. We had to endure the twists and the turns of the river. We had to endure the white caps with the rocks slamming against our boat. And then we had to endure the most dramatic and hurtful thing that goes on in our lives. We had to go endure the waterfall. The waterfall. And what do those things, what does the river mean to us? And you get to the clearing at the end, and you get pure beauty and relaxation and warmth. I'm going to leave you with that, baby bird, and you take it for what it is. Dig deep, look inside, dissect, do what you need to do to make your life smooth.
Until next time, baby birds, we'll be calling you back to the nest.